What's your car payment and what do you drive?
$2,600 a month, and I drive my high country Silverado when I'm not driving my M4.
Car payment is $835 and I drive a 2023 Corvette.
One thing that I realized over time is that big down payments are low-key not even worth it.
While still historically high, average car payments of 2025 have risen compared to 2024 due to high vehicle prices, with an average new car payment reaching $749 and a record number of new car buyers committing to $1,000 or more car payments every single month. Today, we're going to take a look at what some of our fellow Americans are paying for their cars.
What's your car payment and what do you drive?
$2,600 a month, and I drive my high country Silverado when I'm not driving my M4.
What's your car payment and what do you drive?
My car payment is $835 and I drive a 2023 Corvette.
What's your car payment and what do you drive?
$400 and I drive a 2015 GMC Sierra.
What's your car payment and what do you drive?
I drive a Trailblazer Active and I pay $408 a month.
What's your car payment and what do you drive?
I have a 2024 Silverado and my payments are $699 a month.
What's your car payment and what do you drive?
My car payment is $0 a month and I drive a hand-me-down '06 Mercury. What's your car payment and what do you drive?
Straight cash, homie. I drive a 2024 Duramax.
So, the first guy, $2,600 a month. Yes, you heard this right, $2,600 a month for two vehicles, a Silverado and a BMW M4. I mean, there's not much I can say about this other than that's asinine, ridiculous, silly. I don't really care how much money you make. If you're paying $2,600 a month in car payments, you're stupid. That comes out to a whopping $31,200 every year to drive some cars. Ridiculous. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Well, I'm better off keeping the money in my pocket so that way I can invest, and the monthly payment allows me to have the vehicle without having to come out of pocket with all the money. Yes, I get that. In certain circumstances, it makes sense to, instead of buying a vehicle cash, just pay the monthly payment and use the principal that would have went towards the purchase of the vehicle and put that into equities instead, or a rental property perhaps. That way you can procure a property or more assets in equities. However, it almost never makes sense to pay $2,600 a month in car payments unless you're making about $25,000 to $30,000 every single month. Maybe that guy is, maybe he's the owner of the dealership, I don't know. And then we'll fly through the next few. $835 a month for a C8 Corvette, $400 a month for a 2015 GMC Sierra, $400 a month for a Trailblazer, $700 a month for a Silverado. I mean, some of these aren't too bad, namely the $400 a month ones. Those ones aren't too terrible. But guys, $700, $800 plus for a car payment, terrible. Never makes sense. It's very silly. I mean, it's only justifiable if you make a very exuberant amount of money. And let's be honest, most people don't. Now, let's take a minute to applaud the two people at the very end with no car payments, bought their vehicles cash, or in the sense of the sixth girl, she got hers as a hand-me-down. And she's intelligent because she kept that car. She didn't just rush to a brand new car like I'm sure her car salesman peers have probably pushed her to do. She's smart, she's intelligent, and she decided, I'm gonna save my money and I'm gonna work towards something bigger than just driving a fancy car that I can't afford. To each and every one of you driving a paid off car, congratulations, pat yourself on the back. You are one of the few smart Americans that understands financial literacy and gets it. You have a bright future ahead.
One thing that I realized over time is that big down payments are low-key not even worth it. I've had a few somewhat expensive cars and on each and every one of them I put a significant down payment down. For example, on the C8 Corvette that I bought, I put $26,000 down. Using hindsight, I probably would not do that again. You have to keep in mind, in a car deal, every $1,000 is about $20 off of your monthly payment. Therefore, if you're buying an expensive car and you decide to put $10,000 down, it's really only lowering your payment $200. $20,000 down is lowering your payment $400. At that point, you have to keep in mind, would I rather have $20,000 in my bank account or would I rather be saving $400 on a monthly payment? Now, it took me a while to realize this, but now moving forward, I'm keeping that money in my bank account. There's so many things that you can do with that $20 to make you $400 a month. Therefore, it literally just doesn't make sense to give up that much liquid cash at one time. What I will say though, if you plan on purchasing your next car with no money out of pocket, make sure you get gap insurance. No money down automatically equals negative equity. You have to think about it. Whatever car you buy plus tags, and fees, you're already way upside down.
So he essentially defeated his argument at the end there, talking about how when you buy a vehicle and you have no money down, you're instantly upside down. So what the heck is the point of his argument? I just think negative IQ is pretty common these days. Let's break this down, and so that way we can truly understand what the heck he's saying, which is nonsense. When you buy a vehicle with $0 down, what you're effectively doing is signing up to pay a crap ton more interest for no reason. Now, yes, you can pay ahead on the vehicle, but let's be honest, most Americans don't do this. This advice is antithetical to what would be conducive to the average American, because the average American is not going to take any sort of excess cash and pay ahead on their vehicle. We know the vast majority of Americans, they are paying their minimum car payments no mas. When you put a down payment down, what you're effectively doing is lowering your interest on the back end of the loan. Not only that, but you're also getting rid of a bunch of negative equity that could destroy you in the end. Well, he said get gap insurance, right? That's how you negate that. However, he fails to mention that gap insurance costs extra money every single month. If you want to be smart when it comes to buying a loan, it's pretty simple. Don't finance too much. Your payment should be 10 to 15% of your monthly income. And yes, down payments are smart. There is no world where putting a down payment is smart. Now, if he's talking to a high-level investor, yes, like I said earlier, it makes sense in some situations to keep the principal to invest in equities, business, or real estate, Bitcoin, something. But the vast majority of Americans are not doing this. And it's not to crap on them. They're just not doing this. It's just not in their interest. They just don't understand this stuff. It's just not practical advice for the average American. So when this guy hops on TikTok and tries to give the world advice and has all these views, 12,000 likes, it really begs the question, who are you helping here? And I love the top comment here that says, do not take financial advice from salespeople. Exactly. These people have one goal in mind, and that's close the deal. Can't blame them, that's how they eat. But at the end of the day, they are not your friend. And their advice will never benefit you. And when you walk out of that door after signing a contract that destroys the next 5 years of your life, and you come back to them crying, they're gonna do just this. Where did this "I'm just a girl" thing come from? I thought you guys fought for equal rights. In what world would it make sense for men to be like, I'm just a boy. Don't blame me, I'm just a boy. What the? Like, bro, take some accountability. It's like kryptonite to some of these girls, man. The fact that I'm just a girl, girl math, all these like infantilization of women is acceptable in society is absolutely ridiculous. You guys can vote. You guys can go to the military. You guys can do everything we can do. Act like it. In no world does it make sense to be 21 years old and have a car payment that's $865. In no world. Granted, yes, I've made the point before. If you're a 21-year-old that has a very high income, you've done something very, very well, sure. If it fits into your budget, it's only 10% of what you make, fine. But let's be honest, most 21-year-olds are what? Broke. They're broke. They have no money, no dinero. And because of this simple fact, it makes no sense to put 50, 60, 70% of your income towards a car payment, which I know a lot of young people are doing. I feel like my generation has just completely given up on home ownership, and they have now measured success with what kind of car you drive. Granted, yes, we've been screwed over. Houses cost 100 times more than what our grandparents bought, and 20 times more than what our parents bought. Our grandma bought a house for $2,000 and some toothpaste. Our mom bought a house for 80 grand, and we're looking at the same property for 480 grand. However, it is possible to own a home. It is possible to own rental properties. It is possible to build wealth and equities. It is possible to own a substantial amount of Bitcoin. It is possible to start a business and for it to be extremely lucrative. But there's always something you can do. It's never worth it to lay down and give up. I think we need to make a mindset shift from cars being a success measure to homes being a success measure. We need to start flexing buying a house instead of flexing a car. Let's look at what the current average car payment a month is in America. So in Q2 2025, the average car payment every month is $749 for a new vehicle, while the average car payment for a used vehicle is $529. These figures reflect increasing vehicle prices with longer loan terms. with average new car loan amounts reaching $42,000 and used car loan amounts reaching $27,000 in Q2 of 2025, which is the most recent data that we have. However, factors like down payments, credit scores, and interest rates significantly influence what your payment is going to be. Now let's look at a few of the key trends for 2025. Both new and used car prices have contributed to higher payments every single month on average. Trend number 2 is longer loan terms. You guys remember when 36 months was average? And now we have people that are taking out their loans for vehicles that are 5 years and longer. I have even seen loan terms that go up to as far as 7, even 8 years. And the final trend that we've seen this year is more high cost loans, with a record number of new car buyers committing to $1,000 or more monthly payments. In Q2 of 2025, about 19.3% of new car buyers had average payments of $1,000 or more, a record high for new car financing. And it begs the question, where are we headed? Looking at videos like this begs the question, how do other countries look at America? I wonder what it's like from the outside in, looking at us like, y'all are cooked. We can't afford any houses. The average American is super in credit card debt. We have a bunch of people paying $1,000 a month to drive a car. And it truly makes you wonder, is America becoming a third world country? We see other nations like China on the rise, and it kind of makes you wonder, in the next 100 years, not that I'll be around, but our grandchildren will, what will America look like? Will it still be the superpower of the world? Or will we see the rise of China and other nations that are following suit? Speaking of China, let's go ahead and segue into our irrelevant video of the day. Now, I mentioned that America seems to be becoming a third world country and that we are falling behind nations like China, and I have the perfect irrelevant video to show that.
It's a story. This is our future.
Absolutely insane. Where in America can you find that? Oh, wait. Right, we can't. We have no infrastructure that looks like that. Our infrastructure instead looks like a toilet. However, it can't be that bad. I have a video that'll show you just how beautiful American malls are.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free child place holidays available with 20...
Let's move on. This one says, maturing is realizing that yes, a car note is expensive and paying that monthly for a car can be a lot, but if you want that car and you really feel like you deserve it, get that car. Don't let a monthly payment scared you away from driving your dream car. Even the cars that you pay in full comes with problems. So why not ride in a car that you like instead of spending money to constantly get it fixed that could be used for your new car? This person can vote, by the way. Need I say this woman is in a Kia? And I didn't even have to check the profile to know it was a girl. But yes, it's a girl. Why girls like Kias, I will never know. It's literally the stupidest car brand ever. I mean, they've kind of started to make better cars now, but Kias suck. Like, come on. Needless to say, this post is dumb. And you guys know it's dumb. I mean, the idea that buying a new Kia at the average payment of $750 a month is a better financial decision or makes more sense than buying, let's just say, a used Toyota or Honda, Lexus, Acura, something that's actually going to be reliable, is smarter or makes more sense is silly. Because I can tell you right now, 2015 Lexus IS 250 or 350 looks a whole lot better than whatever Kia she's driving and will be more reliable. It's just so ironic that she was like, oh, get the new car because the old one's gonna break down all the time. The new one's gonna be reliable, and the money you would have used to fix the old car, which is a better financial decision, by the way, could just go towards your new car. And she's saying this in a Kia. It's just chef's kiss of how cooked the American mentality is and why most people in my generation will just never own a home. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. At least we'll have a ton of videos and content to analyze on this channel, and we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. That's gonna do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed making it. It's always fun to see how cooked we are as a society. It just reminds me of that meme of the dog where everything's burning around him and he's just sitting there and he's like, this is fine. Guys, no, it's not fine. If you have $1,000 car payment, you are dumb. It's okay. We all make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. So if you have $1,000 car payment, but you can acknowledge you were dumb for signing the contract to have $1,000 car payment, well then you're no longer as dumb. And you've learned from your mistake, and you probably have a much brighter future ahead of you because you're now going to make better decisions, right? But if you have $1,000 car payment and you justify it in any way, shape, or form, and you don't have the substantial income to actually make it make sense financially, but you just justify it because YOLO, you're a moron. Remember guys, the best time to invest was yesterday. The second best time is today. The time is always right to do what is right. I appreciate every single one of you and believe that all of you can do great things and change your life for the better. Thanks for tuning in for today's video. Peace out.